So if you've been keeping up with the leaks and rumors for the next generation Nintendo system or the Nintendo Switch 2, then I'm sure that you heard the most recent report from Nate the Hate talking about how the next Nintendo Direct was going to be a partner showcase and how Nintendo was just going to be giving us some information for some of the third-party games that they still have left for the Nintendo Switch, and that they're getting ready for a Nintendo Switch 2 reveal that's going to be happening next month in March. And this month has already kind of been a little bit fishy for Nintendo because by this time we've always had a February Nintendo Direct for multiple years where Nintendo has given us some first party announcements, but they haven't done that this year, which is definitely pretty unusual, so it kind of made it even more believable that there's probably something going on right now and that they're getting ready to reveal the next generation system. But just yesterday, all of this got really interesting when there was a report that came out from a Brazilian website that said on a podcast that from their sources, they heard that the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo's next system wasn't going to be coming out until early 2025. And after this report drops, we had multiple big other media websites all coming out and saying that they've heard similar things as well. And now a lot of people are starting to say that the Nintendo Switch 2 won't be coming out until Q1 of 2025. So what exactly is going on? Alright, so here we are on Video Games Chronicle where this article came out yesterday, and it's the one that has like the most latest information and even some updates, so we're going to take a look at that. As it says here, sources, Nintendo Switch 2 will now launch in 2025. And so it says here, Nintendo's next console could launch later than expected in early 2025, it's claimed. That's according to Brazilian journalist Pedro Henrique Luti Lupe, who claims in a new Ox de Controle video that he received information from 5 separate sources. According to the sources, they are also working on games targeting Q1 of 2025 to launch alongside the console itself, which has internally slipped out of a previous 2024 target. Eurogamer reports that it's heard similar whispers from industry sources this week, though has not been able to concretely substantiate them. Previously, VGC reported that Nintendo was targeting a launch for its next console in late 2024 per development sources. This was later supported by other outlets. And here we have the first update, as it says here. Since publishing this story, VGC has heard from multiple sources who said that Nintendo has told its publishers its next console will now launch in Q1 of 2025. According to the sources, third-party game companies were recently briefed on an internal delay in Nintendo's next-gen launch timing from late 2024 to early the following year. One publishing source suggested that the delay was so that Nintendo could prepare stronger first-party software for the console. It's possible the next-gen Nintendo console will now follow a similar timeline to the Switch, which was released in March but announced the previous year. VGC has asked Nintendo for a comment on this story. Obviously, they're not going to say anything, but we also have another update here too. As it says here, Eurogamer has now corroborated that the Switch 2 is set for a Q1 2025 release. The console's launch moving into early next year, but still within the coming financial year, is designed to ensure the Switch 2's launch lineup features as many titles as possible, Eurogamer understands, it said. And then we've got another update too now from Bloomberg, saying that Bloomberg has now corroborated this news via its own sources. Nintendo is advising game publishers that its next generation console will be delayed until the early months of 2025, according to people with knowledge of the matter, it said. Nintendo has told some publishing executives not to expect the console until March 2025 at the earliest. A Nintendo spokesperson said the company has nothing to comment on. Alright, so basically from reading the article, it seems like Nintendo themselves have now been telling third-party and other publishing partners that their console is not going to be coming out until early 2025. And that makes it really seem like this console has been internally delayed, like it was also mentioned inside of the article. It's kind of funny to use that word because the system was never revealed in the first place, so it's not like we had a date to go off of, but just genuinely thinking, I feel like it made a lot of sense for them to launch this system this year during the holiday time in 2024. I think it just made a lot of sense, but now it seems like something might have happened behind the scenes. It seems like one of the speculations that people had was that Nintendo wanted to have better first-party games, and because of that, they're internally just delaying the system now until early 2025. So it definitely seems like this is something that just happened very recently. Like everything for like the last few months was on track to have the system come out until the end of this year, and then all of a sudden, maybe in just like the last couple of days or weeks, something might have happened and Nintendo was like, you know what, we have to pull the plug, we have to move the system now into 2025. Really what I'm wondering about now is, if this system truly is going to be coming out in 2025, then what does Nintendo expect us to play for the rest of 2024? Because we clearly haven't had a mainline Nintendo Direct like we usually get around this time that showcases some first-party games and what we can expect for the rest of the year moving forward, and everybody thought that was because they were going to have the launch, or like the reveal basically, for their next system just around the corner, and because of that they didn't want to reveal like first-party announcements or anything like that. But now if that's going to be coming out in 2025, like, what do we have left to play? Because really, just looking at 2024's games for the current Nintendo Switch, we have the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake, which I think came out just yesterday, and then we have Princess Peach Showtime, which is going to be coming out next month. We've got the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD remake, and then we've got Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remake. So 3 of these, by the way, are just remakes like of older games, and then the only new one that we have here is Princess Peach Showtime. So what else does Nintendo really expect us to play for the rest of the year? Because I don't really see any other games being announced so far, so that's going to be really interesting to see what Nintendo's direction is for the rest of the year. Now, Nate the Hate was basically the person who gave us the information about how the next Direct was going to be a partner showcase, and that Nintendo was getting ready to reveal their next generation system in March. And so he commented about all of this as well, where he says here, instead of answering each tweet asking for my take, I'll respond here. I became aware of industry chatter concerning a delay to Q1 2025 earlier this week. This info was only relayed to partners very recently. Beyond that, I've been checking how this may impact the announcement timing. This is all very fresh. I will provide an update on the Q1 2025 delay and whether this alters Nintendo's announcements plans when I can. So he's basically saying that he heard a little bit as well that maybe there could be something happening with a Q1 2025 delay, but he's not really sure if this means that the announcement isn't going to be happening next month now, or if it's still going to be happening and the system is just now going to be launching in 2025 instead. But really, if you guys want my take on all of this, I really feel like for this particular situation, we just need to wait a few months, because we're going to have our answer officially, and not even through like leaks and rumors. We're just going to have an official answer just seeing the way that Nintendo acts for the next couple of months, because the way that they go about things and the way that they announce stuff or even discuss stuff or maybe even drop a reveal, we're going to have our answer definitively for what exactly is going on. See, the whole reason why the Switch 2 announcement was rumored to happen next month anyway was because of GDC, as that's going to be a huge convention. It's the Game Developers Conference where video game developers from all over the world gather, and this would be an amazing place for Nintendo to showcase the appeal of the Switch 2 to developers, showcasing how it works and what it's going to be like to make games for it and stuff. And if you don't reveal the system before then, there's definitely going to be a chance, no matter how many NDAs you make people sign, somebody is just going to leak something out there, and then more and more information about the system is just going to start to kind of leak its way out into the public. But if Nintendo did an official reveal for the Switch 2 like a few weeks before this entire event happens, then it wouldn't matter. They could blatantly just show the Switch 2 there and have people like learn about how to develop games for it, and everything would be okay. And even that initial Brazilian person who leaked all of this information about the Switch 2 coming out in 2025 did say that we might have an idea by the end of March, because it's still possible, and he did say that he still believes in Nate's information as well, that Nintendo could still be planning for the reveal of the system happening next month. And honestly, regardless of what happens, if the system is coming out later this year or if it's coming out in early 2025, Nintendo is going to officially need to show something about the system, because if it's coming out in early 2025, it's not enough time for Nintendo to reveal the system and show it off for the very first time, have a big presentation and show off like the games and how the system works and give like a deep dive for the actual hardware itself, and then also launch the system all in 2025. Like, it's just not possible. They can't do that if it's coming out in early 2025. They didn't even do that with the Nintendo Switch, where of course we got the reveal for the Switch in October of 2016, and then we had that big presentation in January of 2017, and then it came out in March. So you need to have like a good few months or so to have people get excited and talking about the system. You can't just do like a reveal in January, a presentation in February, and then a launch in March. It would just be way too closely together, so they definitely would need to spread stuff out, which means if it is coming out in early 2025, they're still going to have to talk about it this year. Nintendo is also going to have a very big financial meeting happening this month in May, where Furukawa has already said that they're going to talk about their plans for this current fiscal year, and so that's going to be all the way from the end of this year up until I think April 2025. So if the next generation system is going to be coming out in early 2025, then they're definitely going to need to like allude to it or talk about it in some way, because the thing about these financial meetings is that they're really going to give kind of estimates for like how much money they expect to make, and they can't just have like a huge number because they know that there's going to be a new system that they're going to launch by then and then not have investors know about that. So I'm sure they're going to do this because they've done this even for the Nintendo Switch, where back when it was still called the NX and they had like these business meetings, they would talk about how exactly when the NX is going to be coming out. Like we can see here, if we go back to some of their documents, they talk about how like for their video game business, they still have a new system that they're developing called the NX with an all new concept, and that it's going to be coming out in March of 2017. So it's very possible, like if by this time we still have not heard anything about the Nintendo Switch 2, there hasn't been a reveal trailer or anything like that, then it's possible that at this meeting Furukawa could finally drop maybe the code name for the system, or just say like we are working on the successor to the Nintendo Switch and it's going to be coming out in early 2025, or maybe he'll even give us a month like they did with the Switch being NX coming out in March of 2017. But it's very possible because by talking about their plans that they have up until April 2025, Furukawa either directly or indirectly is going to have to say something about their next system. But lastly, I do want to put on my tinfoil hat and put up a hypothetical theory that there could be a very small percent that Nintendo just made up this information about a delay in the system coming out until 2025 and shared it with some publishing partners to try to track down if any of them have been leaking this information, because a lot of these people do talk with the journalists and the media to give them the inside scoop, and that's how they have like their own sources. And Nintendo has actually given fake information in the past to try to track down on leakers, where there was actually a fake Switch game called Star Fox Horizons, which maybe some of you guys remember. This was a game that was leaked, and a lot of people were always talking about this Star Fox game apparently coming to the Nintendo Switch, where it was eventually revealed that Nintendo kind of just made up this game and it was a fake game that never existed, but they would tell it to some people to try to track down if any of them had been spoiling that and leaking it to others, and that's how it would make its way outside that Nintendo was apparently making some Star Fox Horizons game. So maybe this could be like one of that, where I'm sure they want to be very secretive about the Switch 2, so maybe they could be giving like fake information and feeding it to some people to try to track down who's actually leaking the information out there. But like I said, I think regardless, we're going to have our answer in the coming months. If the Nintendo Switch 2 is really going to be revealed next month, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens before GDC. And then if anything doesn't happen, we're definitely going to know by May, because that financial meeting is going to happen and they're going to have to say something. Like if we don't have a Nintendo Direct by then, like a mainline Direct to showcase some first party games coming too, then what exactly is really going on? Like what are their plans for this year? It's a very weird year that's going on right now for Nintendo in 2024, so it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, there you go guys, those are pretty much all of my thoughts about the next generation Nintendo system, or the Switch 2, now potentially coming out in early 2025. If you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel, as well as I'm definitely going to have some more videos talking about the Switch 2 as the information comes out. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you guys believe these leaks and rumors now that the Switch 2 is now being delayed to 2025, or do you think that it's still coming out in holiday of 2024? What do you guys think about there being no Nintendo Direct and it kind of being really fishy that nothing is really happening? What are your thoughts about everything? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say about this, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.